There you go. That,
got a contender here.
That could be
contender.
As you can see, kind of a mixed bag.
I love that though. You know, it's
but
true
yeah,
to.
It kind of gets into like whatever works. Typically, I like kind of a higher bounce wedge.
Okay.
Everything we play in the mid, like in Michigan, Metro Detroit, Midwest, is all soft.
Yeah.
It never gets crazy firm. I mean, maybe you'll get like 2 weeks in August, at the end of August, when everything's burned out and whatever. But for the most part, everything's soft. As you see, I'm kind of like a little bit of an over-the-top shut face guy, and I'll get a little steep every once in a while. So higher bounce always helps.
Sure.
And then around the greens, those little kind of like 30-yard pitch shots, stuff like that, I like to have a little bit of confidence because I play my sand wedge for those, that I can kind of slam that sole into the turf, and I don't have to worry about it taking a big old sheet of turf with it. And then so 50-56 is typically my play, and then I go to a 60 only because I don't feel like I have to open the face a lot. Like if I'm short-sided, if I can play it a little more square,
Sure.
I just have a little more confidence in it. Like I just don't have that skill where I can throw it way open on a tight lie and just, you know, hoist it up there.
Yeah.
So for me, like the 60 is more short-sided, have to carry a bunker, have to get to a tight pin, but I'm not going to lay it crazy wide open. I may open it a touch, but for the most part, that is kind of limited in how I play it. A little bit out of the trap, but my sand game, I'm pretty confident in.
Nice.
That's like the one thing in my wedges that I will say I feel decent about.
What do you use out of the bunker the most? The
56.
Yeah, God, Bob would love you. Bob's a big believer in, you know, amateurs. Their number one wedge they should use around the greens is their 56.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you know, 60s are great if you practice a ton and you can manipulate it that way. But cool, I'm excited. The shafts, is that just, you have 3 different shafts in your wedges?
Yeah.
Just trying stuff out.
So when I kind of played a set of wedges early in the year, and I kind of all went with Nippon Modus 125s.
Sure.
They're a little too stout for my game, but I love the feel of them. They're and then kind of when I threw these in the bag, I just kind of threw them in the bag, and I just didn't take the time to reshaft them or anything.
No worries.
So usually like a Nippon 115 is probably my go-to usually, but I mean, I'm not married to anything.
You got an S4, you got a 115, and I think there's a DG spinner in here too.
Yes, I think that like they're all just the stock wedges that came in those or shafts that came in those wedges. So,
well, let's. You know, and I think consumers, you know, unfortunately, they buy wedges based on a number. Right, they go into a store. I gotcha. They go into a store and they buy wedges. You know, they say I need 4, I need 8, I need 12, I need 10. Right.
Yep.
But in reality, like they should be buying wedges based on the letter.
Yeah.
Right, the grind, right, and how they use it. And you know, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I wish they didn't have numbers on it.
No, I mean, I know people sit there. Well, I've always played this or I'll play that. And I'm like, you got to go by part of it too, the gapping. Like what works.
Yeah.
Because I've played 54 sand wedges before and they're fine. I've played 58s, whatever. It's all about just what can you hit?
Yeah.
What gets you to the numbers you need to get?
Absolutely.
To? And I'm not married to 56, 60.
Yeah.
But the 50 I kind of like, because 52 I just don't feel I hit it far enough.
Sure.
But I don't hit it super high.
Yeah. Which, you know,
just my game.
We're looking for that really low launch window with wedges, right? So.
Oh, spin. There's the miss. There it is. Quick, early extension.
Pretty.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
As warmed up as I'm going to be.
Let's get a little pitching wedge. You talk to tour players and like 80-85% is about as hard as a tour player will swing.
Yeah.
And it's not that they can't swing more, it's just as they start swinging higher, the ball strike moves higher up on the face. And they're so just focused on hitting it between grooves 2 and 5 to get that low flight and spin.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think amateurs tend to stop the ball with, they think height is their friend when in reality it's spin is their friend, right? pretty there.
Yep.
How was that?
It's pretty good.
Okay. 125.8. Okay. Don't need any more of that.
Take as many of those as I can do.
That's right. 128.8. All right, we're good there.
Juiced up.
Yeah. So first swing with the SM10. So it's gonna be the 50-12, right? I'm starting at the higher bounce.
Yeah. No, I had an SM8 with the 50-12.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
And people were like, people didn't know they made it. And I was like, yeah, it's great. Ooh, little Healy.
Right. And then shaft, right? So shaft's about feel. I'm starting you in S200, right? Which is our wedge shaft. Let me know how it feels. I mean, you know, if you've always liked the 115, you play steel fiber, you know, that's definitely an option. You know, generally you want to keep that same shaft kind of in that 50-50.
Yeah, and that was kind of my thought of, do I just match the whole way through? Or at least in the gap wedge, do I match the 110, since I mostly hit full shots in this? Or at least, you know, this I basically hit between 110, depending on the play, 90 yards.
Yep.
And then, so it's like, do I match it to the pitching wedge and the rest of the irons? And then maybe do something different in the sand and gap? Oh, low again.
One more.
There you go. There you go.
Shaft feel a little heavy?
Not really. It almost feels more head heavy, like swing weight wise.
Interesting.
The head's slightly heavier.
Okay.
But I mean, shouldn't be a big deal to get used to.
Yeah. You said Modus 120, you've had that in the past?
Yeah.
And you said it felt a little stout?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little stiffer for for the firepower I bring.
Okay. Felt stouter than this, the S2?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. How's that?
Really good.
Yeah. Feel tighter than the S2 though?
Yeah.
Does it? Okay.
The nice thing is it's responsive without being crazy harsh. Like, as you can tell, I've definitely hit a few pretty low on the face and very heel side. And it's not like your hands aren't just like dying, which is kind of nice. But no, I mean, the shots that you strike solid are really nice. They're very soft.
Just tell me how the shaft feels.
Okay. Let's say I'm not even looking.
Love that.
Not even looking, just almost feels a touch heavier. Definitely has that boardy feel, almost feels a touch heavier. Well, that just felt money. I mean, that just felt great. When the ball leaves the face, it just so soft. A little steep over the top, but man, that's...
Again, I don't see us changing this head. I'm just trying to get the shaft right for you in the first.
That feels pretty good, but it definitely has a little more. It feels a little heftier, a little stouter.
Okay.
Than out of the three. That's probably the stiffest and heaviest feeling out of the three.
It's wild, right?
I know,
because it's not. Right?
I know, it just does.
But it makes sense, right? That's why shaft is so important. Like, you know, in a wedge, shaft's not going to change ball flight.
No, not a lot.
Just going to change feet. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just important to get the shaft that feels good to you. I think this might be it. Let's see. Try this shaft. They're all going 110, 111, 110 when hit well, so the loft's right. What do we think?
Definitely has the boardy feel. It doesn't feel as heavy.
Yeah, it's lighter.
Yeah, but I say it definitely doesn't feel as heavy as the last one, but it still has that kind of stiff feel to it. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's a 105.
105,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm actually pretty shocked. I mean, I've hit the 105 in irons, and I feel like it feels way different.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Nice work.
I like it. when I put a good swing on it, the ball flight's extremely consistent.
Yeah. And that's what we want, right? So we don't realize, like, you want your wedge to launch half the loft -2.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's 50 degrees, it should launch, you know, about 23.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And 60 is about 28, right? And that's launching at, right now, average is 20. With that one you popped up at 29, you're at 22.7.
Oh, yeah. And again, I don't hit it super high anyway, so
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's
for
kind
me,
of perfect.
to be even around average is pretty good.
Yeah, that's above average, because I think most players launch their wedges too high. So that 56 degree that you play now around the greens, you know, it's your most used club around the greens. So we'll have to validate whatever we do here around the greens, right? Yeah. But when you're around the greens, do you open the face much with that 5.6, or is it mainly pretty square?
For the most part, I play it pretty square,
okay.
Unless it's out of bunker, or, you know, if there's a little shot where you got to carry a little bit of rough or something. I mean, I'll open it a little,
okay.
but I mean, I'm not laying it open. I mean, it's just a little bit.
Okay.
So most of the time it's bunkers, and then, like, you know, if you're inside a, you know, 80, 85, 90 yards, depending on the shot.
Okay.
So like this, I don't typically hit near as full.
Yep. It's 84. It's a little crazy. You're kind of right on.
How am I? Like, one, my talent, and two, my consistency. There's no way I should be calling shots like that. But no, I mean, that's what I like. That's
what
the,
you want. Yeah.
If that's the shot I can hit, like, that's it. I'm good. I don't really need to hit it a whole lot more than that.
What I love about the new line is that, like, in the same loft category, all the heads look the same.
Yeah.
So for me doing those blind grind tests now, there's no, like, this one looks a little different, and they don't pick a wedge based on how it looks, because they're all the same, and they pick the wedge more on how it performs, right?
Yeah. And like this, honestly, like, yes, it's got a touch more roundness to the front, but it's not a lot. So, you know, even when you're going to have to hit a more full shot with it, it's still going to look really good.
So same loft, different grind here. Let me know how it feels, okay? See how the windows changed?
Yeah, but I say it kind of went down a little bit.
So the grind will change where the player hits it on the face, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that half the loft -2 kind of window.
And I didn't get as steep with that, but it still felt like it hit the turf and just kind of, it glided through a lot faster.
83.9 carry, right? So that same good number we wanted. 24 launch, right? Wow. So half the loft -2.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, right?
You're good.
Yeah,
you're darn good. Because it ain't me. Well, yeah, that was
scoopy.
It's a little scoopy, but
scoopy.
But honestly, it still went a good ways.
It went your number. So, you know, we'll get this one down to 2, and then we'll take this 56 green side and really validate what we want.
Oh wow, 14. But I said I didn't even look at it until just now.
I know. I wish you didn't.
I'm about to say I kind of wish I didn't either, because that's. I mean, I'm not scared of it though. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I mean, that carried 85.9.
Yeah.
And like, scooped it. Right?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's like I said, 85 yards. I mean, I'm not good enough to say it has to go 85 every time. If it's 86 or 83 or whatever.
It went 83.9, 85.9 on a good strike and a bad strike. And I think people
that's pretty crazy.
Don't talk about forgiveness in a wedge, but I mean, with the CG, it's amazing how forgiving we made
and the ball flights are so different too.
Yeah.
I mean, that one that was little risky up in the air, but still
same number.
Same number.
Yeah.
Oh, a little low, but that'll be all right. I mean, that's again not a great swing.
When you watch tour players hit wedges, like when you ever go to like a tour event, what the first thing I notice is like how high they hit all their woods and their irons, and then how low they hit their wedges.
Everything else.
Right? Everything is so low around the greens. I like this one over that first one.
Oh, for sure.
But I want to try another one just because I think more green side, the other one may win there.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking for a wedge with a lot of forward bounce for you, right?
That felt good.
Again, right, this grind, not telling you what it is, still has a lot of forward bounce, right? It really plays with a lot of forward bounce. But could around the greens, that went 83.9, by the way. You're a machine for a guy who doesn't think he's a machine.
I'm not a machine. I think it's all just being here in like the perfect conditions, because I'm not a machine.
You're a machine.
That is,
83.9, 82.4, 85.9, 83.9.
I mean, turf interaction wise, like that felt
Faster.
like it hit into the turf and then just
Love that.
went through.
Good.
I mean, like the last one was really good too.
This one might be a little better.
But this, I mean, it was just, you could feel it kind of get in initially,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of wanted itself, get itself out.
I think this one's probably in the lead over here. Again, we'll validate that in the bunker. Bob says it has to work out of the bunker,
Yeah.
right? If it doesn't work out of the bunker, then it's probably the wrong one.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so now let's take these two green side,
Okay.
right? And then we'll bring the 60s over there and we'll do that blind grind, true blind grind. So no peeking this time.
All right.
Then you hole it. Pretty.
I was just like, keep the speed up. Don't blade it.
Hey.
Use the backstop.
Hey,
It's like I played here before.
You know, you've set me up today. You're like, yeah, I'm not the best wedge player. I'm not that good to hit my number. Well, you've hit your number all day and then you chip it tight.
Oh, there it is.
Why don't people realize, like, so I think, you know, consumers tend to chip with their 60 too much around the greens, right? They're going to be the guy trying to fly this all the way back. When you have to make a 60 go further, you tend to have to lean on it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you kind of, that leading edge gets a little too involved, then you're hiding that trailing edge. So I think you open it just a little bit. That's relief.
Yeah. There it is.
And there's the balance, right?
Yep.
You hear
exactly.
it now helping you.
And that's what I can get confident with it, where I know I can just
Throw
do
it
that.
into the ground.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Because if I'm throwing it into the ground, I'm usually not decelerating.
For sure.
And that's my biggest problem with wedges, especially like this shot, is that deceleration.
Yep.
You know, is I get there and oh no, it's too much speed.
Yeah.
And it's like I just got to be able to count on it. And if I get that feeling of that thump into the turf, then I'm usually hitting it pretty good.
That thump, I always joke, I say I want it to be my ringtone.
Yeah.
Right, because when it's right, you know, you hear the right wedge when you hit it, because you know it's giving you that really crisp sound. So this was that other 56 that we liked over there.
Yep.
Let's just test it over here.
Okay. Oops, a little hot, but look at that check up too. I'm gonna say for this length of a shot to check up that hard.
Downwind too.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
That's pretty impressive. Ooh, a little low, but that'll play.
Look at the spin.
Look at that thing check right up. That checked up hard, real hard. And I didn't feel like I hit that great, and that thing checked up hard.
That flight is what we're looking for, even around the greens.
I feel like that I'm like mishitting it low.
That's low on the face contact, right? That's that groove 3 that Bob talks about all the time. You know, groove 3 produces low launch and spin.
Yeah.
Right? That first one looked like it was popping up a little higher with a little less spin.
Yeah.
Which means it's just hitting a little higher on the face. Love that.
Just feel like it's just that nice little crisp click too. Like it's soft, but it's just got that hair of a click to know that you caught it pretty decent.
Yeah. You know, this is how tour players hit wedges, right? They stop the ball with spin.
Yeah.
Right? Consumers tend to stop the ball with trajectory, mainly because their grooves are too old.
Yep.
Right? When the groove gets old, ball's going to ride up the face. It's going to hit higher. It's going to pop up high and not going to have any spin.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's important to change your grooves and also get fit for wedges, because you can just see what the grind is doing to your flight.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that was just, you can't hit any better than that.
It looks like this one you have a little more freedom to just throw it into the ground. Right?
It definitely, as it hits, it definitely feels like it doesn't want to go anywhere. I mean, it hits and that's it. It's done.
Yeah. And this is, you know, this one is the 56-14.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, I know some people sit there and go, oh, the leading edges come up. Like, I'm opening this just a touch. Like, that leading edge isn't really coming up.
No, it's got camber. You can actually open it a little bit.
And if you play it square, it gets right down.
It's perfect. I like it. I actually like it a little bit more than the other one was the 12D, by the way.
Yeah.
So a ton of forward bounce, but just a little bit more trail taken away there. I just don't think you open the D enough to really need that back edge to be taken away.
No. I mean, the only thing that's a little different is like right around the greens, like we have really lush, deep rough.
Yeah.
Where like we don't really have anything tight.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is as tight as I'll play all year.
For sure.
This is as tight as firm as I'll play all year.
And you're seeing that a 14F is working off of extremely tight lie.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that going to get better when it gets softer and gets a little wetter, right?
Exactly. Because that's the thing. Like if we were hitting these same shots over there, like this, I think would perform just as good, if not better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
let's talk about the 60. You know, you don't use it a ton, which we talked earlier. Bob would love you, right? Because he's a big believer in 5.6s. Where would you use a 60? Would you like that white flag on the right?
Yeah, if you had the white flag on the right, I'm hitting 60. If something where you come up short in the bunker here and I've got to hit it, you know, basically anything I've got to carry. If I'm up, again, depending on where it is, if I've got a big lip to get out of a bunker, none of these are crazy, but
yeah. I think that white flag's a good one, right? So what we'll do now is, you know, really the Bob Vokey famous blind grind test.
No.
Okay, here it is.
Roulette?
Have you ever been to the eye doctor?
I mean, yes.
It's just like going to the eye doctor. Ooh.
Done. Okay, we're set.
Number one, and it's not, number one's pretty good, right?
That's,
so,
I mean,
let's try number two.
About to say,
and I don't like to look either, right? I like to stay in the dark too, just so it's a surprise for me. And with these wedges, I used to be able, I did this so much, I could tell what it was when you're hitting them.
Yeah.
Now I can't. It's really good too, right? But again, you see how it popped up a little bit higher? That tells me that it hit a groove higher on the face.
Yeah.
Both shots worked.
But say, yeah, I mean, and for the most time, I mean, before doing this, I would have thought that second one was like the shot because you're putting more loft on it, it's going to stop, all that.
That high contact on the face makes it harder to control distance.
Gotcha.
Right? Because when you have that low contact with spin, that's repeatable, that's distance, right? Nice work. You're using the bounce really well too.
Oh, a little short, but hey, I mean, it's all right. I'll take it.
So the job of the first exercise, I line them up like Bob. So obviously number one was slightly better.
Yep.
So this goes down a little bit. The job of the first exercise is to get it down to 2, 3, and then we move to the next spot. You know, Bob will always say it's like a report card. You don't want a wedge that's an A and then a D.
Yeah.
You want a wedge that's an A, a B plus, an A minus, right? You want one that's a good all-around wedge.
No, you're right, because like you said, I mean, hitting this shot's great.
Great. What about that shot? What about that shot, right?
Exactly, yeah. What about putting it in a bunker? All of a sudden you can't play it out of there.
Right.
So.
Now, number 3.
Oh, that was just a bad swing. Came across the body.
So when you do that, it shuts down, right?
Yep.
You lose the bounce.
Yep. That is why I don't play the 60 as much.
Just rotate. Weed number 3.
Man,
don't like it. Probably the worst.
Definitely felt like more bounce on that.
Oops.
No, you're good.
Number 4.
Number 4. There you go.
Good job.
A little short,
again, I think it's slightly better than number 3. I don't know if I put it in the 1-2 category, like up here.
No, I mean, one was still
right there.
And then the last. Then there was one.
That's right.
Ooh. That felt pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. That
got a contender here.
That could be
contender.
Well, that was not even hit great. That still got up and got over.
Nice work. It's coming up, yeah. I like it. You think it's kind of in that 1, 2, 3 category?
I would probably put this as 2.
As 2. Love that. Yeah.
I mean, even that hit up, it got under it, but still.
Yeah. Great shot.
Like you said, I mean, it's amazing how you think that higher trajectory would add some spin and get it to stop, and it releases so much more than those low spinners.
So this is where it's fun, right? Where people don't realize this, but like you'll rarely see like really opposite grinds make it what I call the round 2. So it's the D, the T, and the S.
So different. I mean,
well, you think about it,
one of them is so different than the other
but look at the shape of the D and the T.
Yeah, really similar.
Trail, toe, heel, trail, toe, heel.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of forward bounce on the T, but just a little bit more there. And then the 10S, people realize, is very narrow. It's a very narrow sole, right? So narrow, a little wider, but all trail toe heel. So they're more similar than I think you think.
Yeah.
Right? You look at it as 4, 10, 12. We're like, they're so different. But really, look at the shape of them.
They're all, you're right. They're all
similar,
pretty similar,
right?
yeah.
So let's go to really spot 2. So what I do next, do one of these here. Okay. Number 1, we renumber them, so they're not going to be the same numbers. And we're going to go to that white flag. This is, you would still use 60 to that first flag? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. This is,
pretty.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, this is one of those ones that, like, even that, if I can get it to 10, 12 feet, whatever, like, I'll take it.
Yeah. Ooh. See that difference there?
Yeah.
Low
way
flight,
lower,
right?
Yeah.
Spin, all that came back with just contact. Whoa.
Go. Oh, that's gonna be good.
So 1 was great. Is 2 better?
I think so.
I think so too.
A little bit. And that's just, it's changing so much of how I played the 60 before. Like this shot, I would be trying to hit it really high.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I was trying to stop it with the trajectory as opposed to stopping with the spin.
In the wrong grind, you have to do that sometimes because you can't play the right shot because you can't manipulate it the way it should be manipulated.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, going into it, just getting used to hitting a different shot it's definitely a little easier.
Yeah. See it? One more.
Yeah, I mean, I like the feel of this one, but 2 seem to perform the best.
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Back to 2. Again, we may have to take both of these in the bunker, but
Let's see. A little fat. That ended up all right.
a ton of relief there, right?
Yeah. I don't know. This just, as soon as it hits the turf, it just glides through so well.
You look a little more confident with this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Again, they're both really narrow, so that could give you a little hint of what they are.
Oof.
One more.
I mean, but that's still, I mean.
It's fine. You didn't swing hard.
Yeah, I didn't swing hard, but that's, I mean.
You made it. Oh.
Oh. I don't know. That's just comfortable.
Yeah. Again, we're going to take them in the bunker. I think if we had to get your report card out, you know, there are A's over there off this wet turf. There are probably B pluses, which is a great score. And then we got to take it to the bunker and really see which one starts to pull away.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, that just when it hits the turf.
It's this one, right?
So good.
Yeah.
When it hits the turf, it just glides through.
What 2 do you think they are? It's always the fun part.
Well, if you said narrow, I mean, I think it's D and S. Wow, I did not expect it to be T.
Yeah. A lot of people don't, but the T's sneaky because it is so narrow.
Yeah.
It really, the reason it's #1 on tour right now, because a narrow sole, lower contact around the greens, right? So that's why these players are just looking there. Now, I think the S started poking its head out over here as the winner because of these soft conditions, right? And this is more where you play, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the tee ground for you would be like if I'm ever going to go to somewhere that's super, super firm, then you have that option too.
Yeah.
The first white flag, what shot are you hitting?
I'm still going to hit 56 there.
Love that.
So.
Bob would love you.
It's just, I think it's like what I kind of practiced with the most, and it just became kind of comfortable, and I'll just, you know, open it up a little bit more, and
it's pretty. One more.
splash it out.
So Bob likes telling this one too. He always says, put your hands back a little bit, right? Just kind of, yeah, there you go. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Yes.
Oh, just swinging harder, but yeah. It's gonna swing cool.
Try this one.
Softer. Oh, caught a little ball.
So this is a 60. Just wanted you to hit it.
Yeah. No. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily pick it here.
Yeah.
But if that flag was closer in,
For sure.
I definitely would.
Open it more. Again, during the swing, you turn it down. So just engage that trail a little bit more. Open it the face more. Yes. What if we went to that far black flag? What club would you use?
I'm probably still going to stick with 56. I'm just going to, as I would usually say, I would just take, not open it.
Yeah.
But
So open this face, hit it the same way you hit it to that white flag.
got a little ball, but distance-wise is much
Pretty
better.
useful. Look how much easier that is.
Oh yeah, and the swing is so much more controlled and tempo's better.
When you choose the right club, it doesn't make the good shots better. Because if I gave you a 7-iron from here and enough golf balls, you would figure out how to hit a 7-iron close to that hole.
Yeah.
When you pick the right club, it makes the bad shots better.
Yep.
And the key to playing golf is not making good shots better. If my job was to make good shots better, I would have a really tough time. My job is to make your bad shots closer to your good shot.
Yep.
Open that face, just like that 56.
That was no body rotation there.
Steep, hit behind it. Use some sand. So good.
Yep.
Again, I think this club, amateurs never think about hitting it out of a bunker.
Yeah.
They really don't. And you watch tour players.
I don't do it enough.
Yeah, they do it. I mean, they may hit that out of the bunker on when they're trying to hit ball first from 100 yards.
Yeah.
They don't think about using it as a bunker club. Here's a 50 short-sided.
Oh.
Very useful though.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it just came out. I caught a little more ball.
For
than
sure.
Still come back down.
Now,
I mean,
now you have 3 clubs to hit a lot of different shots, right?
yeah.
And you pick the club that gives you the best miss. Now,
But even that, I mean, you're out every time.
I'm not.
There's
If
zero.
I'm your caddy tomorrow or said later today, I'm not giving you a 50 for the shot.
No.
But it's because you have to test it to figure out, right?
Yeah.
If it was steeper, maybe, right? Because again, you're just pushing sand.
Yeah,
Nice work.
that's pretty good.
So it's the S. So
That's-
60S 5614, which is a trend we see on tour a ton, is a lower bounce 60
Yep.
and a higher bounce 56.
Yeah.
You have bounce when you need it, right? And then you have lower bounce when you need it.
Yeah.
Right, you watch JT does this a lot. He'll take 2 practice swings with his 56 and his 60, and he can create softness with them both, right? If he's down grain, he probably grabs that 60 a little bit more. If he's into the grain, he grabs that 56 a little bit more. They choose the shot based on the edge they want to use, not so much the loft they're trying to use, because they can create loft,
Yeah.
right? Bob would say, with your 56 degree, you need a 58, you have it.
Yeah.
You need a 60, you have it, right? It's all in there. I just think don't be afraid to open that face, because during the swing, you take the bounce away.
Yeah.
So add it, right? That's why you tend to like more bounce, is because you take it away.
Yeah.
Right? And then some players who are very neutral, hand neutral, club head kind of passes the hands a little bit easier than you make it. They use really low bounce because they're adding it, right? It's
Yep.
that's why it's the fun part.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad you came out, and I'm glad we got to do these
I
wedges.
mean, it's always cool to learn something like that, and because you always have these, especially when you're in the golf media world, you hit so many things, you can see so many things.
You do.
kind of know.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have this
sure.
feel of, oh, I know what I need.
Yeah.
And then when you actually start putting these things to real life uses,
Yeah.
you realize that maybe it's a little different.
For sure.
And that's what's always cool to learn. Oh wait, maybe something is a little better than what you thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's always awesome.
Yeah, wedge fitting to me, it's so fun, because it's so per player, right?
Yeah.
Every time I come out here, it's like I'm handing the player and their technique, the conditions they play, and then the sound the right wedge makes. I mean, we heard the difference, and I think it's why it's so important to get fit for wedges. If you can outside, right? Outside's obviously the greatest place to get fit for wedges, but we have a Vokey wedge app indoors now that we've taken a lot of tour players' data, and it picks out grinds based on your technique and not so much course condition.
Yeah.
Right? I think course condition sometimes, technique drives a lot of that show too, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was fun, man.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really.
Coming out.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Sorry I put camera in people's lives.
Yeah, you hit it great. Sandbagging everybody all morning.
I don't know about that.